I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats at the If I Ruled TO event at the Sheridan Centre in downtown Toronto. Here with Latoya Rodney, what is the most important aspect about being here today?
Just being here to serve the youth, I always tell people that you cannot be a leader unless you serve first. So me being here with the youth to serve them, talk about whatever they want to talk about, well, it's geared to what they normally think about. I think that's going to be a big thing.
Right. And here you are inspiring all these youth, but have there been any kids specifically that have really stood out or inspired you as well?
Yeah, the ones that are from Toronto Community Housing, because that's where I was raised most of my life. And we've been nothing but stereotyped. And in our age range, we believed it. So that's why we walked into those stereotypes. And a lot of my friends are dead or in jail because of those stereotypes, believing it. I had that past life, but I changed it. And that's what I want to teach the youth what to do today.
And getting involved in music, how did music really help you as an art form in terms of shaping your life and, what it turned out to be?
Music was part of me getting that negative energy and turning it into a positive energy. And that's what I do every single day when I write a song. Sometimes I am angry, sometimes I am sad. My brother was killed last year. I wrote very powerful songs, and some of them is my best music. So I believe in turning that negative energy into a positive in order to make it further in life, and it impacts people, because people will even look at you like, how could she write a song at that time? And it could even teach them how to heal that way.
And if you could give the youth one advice in particular, what would it be?
Not to roll around with nicknames, because my nickname was Creature, and that's what I became, a wild animal. And I think that the young people need to own their name, walk with it proud. It means learn the meaning of their name, you know what I'm saying? And also not shame their parents of what they do with their last name, because your last name you wear on your back at all times, and you have to wear that name properly.
And what's next for you?
I'm shooting a documentary right now. I've been shooting it for 6 months. In a big play called The Ultimate Sacrifice. They have a booth set up here too. It's on November 2nd. I just went on tour to England with them, and I'm still doing my music. I'm gonna come out with a lot of singles just now. And yeah, that's basically it for now.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on all of your success and for inspiring these kids today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto. Today's wardrobe.
Why are you here? Why is this important to you?
I actually had said this in the drop that I did for this. The fact that, we all relate to these communities. I know I came from modest beginnings. I've lived in pretty much every neighborhood. Jane and Finch could probably, Jane and Finch would claim me, and that's really where I'm from. But I lived in Rexdale, I lived in Malvern, and just understanding what those communities are, and they ultimately raised me, gave me the confidence to go out here and to pursue my goals, and now to be able to have the opportunity to be out on a worldly exposure, global exposure. But this is where I started from. This is my roots. So to have the opportunity to connect with the youth and us be able to just talk and share our experiences and for them to see that whatever their aspirations are, that they're tangible. Everyone here represents that, and I think, there's power in numbers. So the fact that we're all here, the energy that's here, the care that's gone into this, is a great thing to be a part of. And, I want to say long overdue, but the most important thing is that, it's happening now.
Can everyone answer that question?
I think for me, I do a lot of youth work, and it's just a great opportunity to have young people look at people who look like them, who come from communities that they come from, and see success stories that they can identify with. And I think our being here just helps to empower them to follow, the path that we've kind of set for them and actually take it, so much further, because they have, the social media and all that stuff that a lot of us didn't have when we were coming up, that they can follow the path that we set, but then just become trailblazers and take it to somewhere completely new. So I'm just here to share, what I've done and what I've experienced, and help as many people as possible to try to have the confidence to move forward and take that road.
Well, I came from Lebanon. I'm an immigrant here, so I wasn't born and raised in Canada or in Toronto, but I live in Toronto now. And I've come a long way. My parents sacrificed a lot for me and my family, and we didn't really have much growing up, but they sacrificed everything for us to have better here in Canada. So if I can make it here, then anybody can, and that's part of why I'm here.
I think, for the reason for me, I was part of the system. I was in the children's aid when I was a kid. When you lose both parents and you're on your own, you tend to feel like nobody's there, so you decide you want to go another path. But for me, I decided that I could do something different, and I could actually work with kids as of now, because they can learn from my experiences as a child growing up. Because I was going through all the struggles. I was homeless and all that stuff, so I went through all that stuff. So I learned a lot of different things with that. So I'm able to help kids and steer them in a different direction.
Well, I'm here definitely to be a part of the conversation. I was raised in what was called Metro Housing before it became Toronto Housing Authority for 18 years of my life. My mother worked at General Motors and raised 9 children and paid rent, market rent as she would call it. But aside from that, I feel that we're able to speak to one another on social media, but sometimes celebrities and artists are untouchable and unreachable, and so to be able to actually be here to connect physically, it's a big deal. And I think that we need to take time to listen. Oftentimes these summits, it's really about us telling them how you can make it, follow this path and that path, and I think there's a lot to be said in what these youth have to say and what they're actually learning out there, and be able to be our teachers. So I'm here actually to learn as well as to teach.
I think this youth summit is one of the best things that has happened within TCH. I've been living in the Falstaff community for a good portion of my life, and to see, I personally feel that this event has been long overdue, but I'm happy that it's here now. I'm happy that I'm a part of the committee. I'm happy that I was able to assist in making the youth and their voices be heard.
Touching on what Julie Black said, it's really important to have these type of conversations, and if I rule Toronto as a platform to have our voices heard and really be a part of that dialogue. Today we're gathered with decision makers, community members, young people, and it's really about listening to those voices and trying to make concrete actions in order to solve some of those issues that concern us young people.
Hey folks, my name is Jada Man. This summit is very imperative, very important, because the youth, I'm still a youth, I hope so, but I'm active in what we call the streets, in the neighborhoods, and the youth actually don't see any models, any, as Julie would say, celebrity type figures come to them and actually show them that they care and they can make a difference with their lives, right? All they see is their neighborhoods, and they're stuck within the walls of their neighborhood. So this allows them to go outside of the neighborhoods, get exposed to even being downtown for the first time, and interacting one-on-one with people who they look up to from the communities. Some more high profile, we're on the rise, and it's a good blend, definitely. It's needed, for sure.
My name is Latoya Rodney, and I think that it's evident based on the numbers of youth that came up today. When you open a space like this and give them an opportunity to come, they'll come. I got involved in the gang life activities when I was younger because I didn't have things like this to go to. So when you guys give the youth an opportunity like this, they're gonna come, and that's all I have to say.
Ask me what I think. And that's pretty much it. It's an opportunity to really have our voices heard and really get the message across. And I forgot to introduce myself, but my name is Shukri Duwale, and I'm one of the rising leaders within my community. And I think it's a blessing to connect with different areas within the city all under one roof. So that's a change in itself, because things like that usually don't happen.
One question, last question for me. I'm just doing the documentary for asked. One book that you would recommend, name the author, why? Everyone, please.
Okay.
All right. So one book that I'd recommend that everybody working with youth should get is what it's called, Whatever It Takes. It's a book on Geoffrey Canada. Forgot the author's name. Sorry about that, but that's the book that everybody needs for sure.
The book that I would recommend is The Autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley. That book is very crucial, especially for the young men and women to read, because it speaks about some of the challenges that we face in our community, but it also gives you a more proactive, objective rather than reactive ways of really addressing some of those issues. And I believe Malcolm X is an icon in himself, and him and his wife, his late wife, Betty Shabazz, have done a lot of great things for the community.
Coming back to me, Latoya Rodney. I think that I'm going to recommend the Bible, because the reason why I say that is because there needs to be more spiritual leaders that are working with the youth as well. That's a part of why, that's a part of what they're missing, why they're getting involved in certain things, and that's just my opinion.
Well, she took my book. I also agree. The Bible is, I guess, a book that I would recommend to a lot of people to read. Not only does it teach leaders to become, I guess, spiritual guidances, but it also enriches the leader themselves to help themselves and help others.
Wow, so many books to recommend. Definitely BIBLE. I would recommend The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Being an artist and a musician, it's so easy to. The Four Agreements basically is don't take things personally, don't make assumptions, be impeccable with your word, and always do your best. And the one that resonates the most with me is always do your best, because your best today may not be your best tomorrow. So, oftentimes we're so critical of ourselves and critical of others, when that day I may have a flu, and that's the best that I can do for that day. So I need not beat myself up and just give all I can. And that can apply to any aspect of your life. So The Four Agreements is an easy read, something you can throw in your purse or your man purse. Carry it anywhere with you.
First and foremost, I want to make a point of the fact that this is it's a community thing, as far as not only the youth that are present, but just in general. It's like this is an us thing. As Canadians, like, I don't want this to seemingly be just about black youth. There's a lot of black youth that are present, but a lot like Carl's story of coming, his parents coming from Lebanon and then striving and achieving all that he has. I'm proud of him and proud to be able to call him my brother. So, just so it's clear, this is a community thing. What happens to the next man is essentially what happens to you. How we treat each other is crucial. And on to selecting a book. Let's see. I guess there's two. Aside from the Bible, I guess there's two I would recommend. I personally think that The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is an excellent read. I think it really opens your mind. I think I would say 16 is probably a good age to get at that book, because it gets you into different time periods in history, and gives a lot of great analogies that are applicable to life today, and how to conduct yourself, and understanding sort of the nature of humans, just how we are, how we interact with each other. Some things that we do subconsciously, and some things that are taught. But the other book I would recommend is Pablo Coelho, The Alchemist. I think it's a great read. Just metaphorically speaking, I think it's an amazing story that can really encourage and empower anyone that's reading it to understand that a dream first put into thought is the first step to taking action towards that dream. So those would probably be my books.
I guess for me, he took the. For me, it's the Bible. I mean, that's what I grew up on. You know what I mean? I think if you look at it, it helps you. Spirit. It helps your spirits and everything else like that, and it also helps you guide you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I use the Bible, and that helped me in a lot of situations. So I would recommend that.